Good morning.
Good morning.
I beat you.
Well, we hope that everybody had a great weekend and a great start to this week. And
they had a holiday too.
They did. So,
or some people did.
Yes. Hopefully you guys had a great Valentine's Day. But we are back. Not that we were gone all that long, but...
We're gone just as long as normal.
Well, no. You weren't on last week.
Oh, that's true. What was I doing?
I don't know what you were doing.
I was working on something.
Well, anyway.
Oh, I had a customer.
Oh, there you go. So anyway, today on Family Jewels, we're going to be talking about jewelry care and cleaning and the importance of getting checked and cleaned. Something we actually talk about pretty often here in the store. Actually, every time somebody purchases something, we bring it up.
Yeah.
And nearly every time that somebody comes in, we bring it up.
And what's amazing to us, I guess, is nobody seems to ever have heard that.
Yeah, it's actually pretty amazing that nobody talks to anybody about maintaining their jewelry whenever they purchase a piece or they go to get it repaired or something like that. It's never brought up and talked about.
But it's kind of one of those things where I think some of that kind of came about from, a diamond is forever. So they just figure whatever.
The jewelry's forever too.
Yeah, it's just that diamond's forever. The rest of it's got to be forever too. So, but there's some care that needs to be done, and everything needs to be checked and cleaned at least every 6 months.
Yeah.
Some people maybe more often than that, but at least
depending on how you wear it. Yeah.
At least every 6 months.
Yeah. And it never fails.
But not every 6 years or every 20 years.
Or 60 years. Yeah. It never fails. We have somebody come in and mention that 6 months to him. Oh man, it's been a lot longer than that. It's.
Yeah.
Well, when was the last time you had it checked? I don't know if I ever have. Well, how long have you had it? 35 years? Well, it's probably due.
Yeah.
That's...
Or they'll come in and they'll say, a stone just fell out, and we'll go.
Like it just jumped.
Yeah. Well, one reason it just fell out is there's only one prong left out of a 4-prong setting that was actually holding the stone in. So.
Yeah, it was literally some lotion and sweat. So, well, we're still going, so.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess kind of where we need to start is I've got a little deal that I bring up, and it's maybe a little bit corny, but it probably doesn't pertain to guys as much or whatever, but one, we tell you need to check it and check and get it cleaned, and we don't actually charge for that, whether it's something we sold or you bought somewhere else or inherited from somebody or whatever. It's just something that needs to be done where it needs to be checked and cleaned.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the other thing is what the little story I kind of bring up or example is I just say mostly all to women, because once you hear it, you're going to say, well, a guy's not going to relate to that at all. But everything that we sell or work on or whatever, you can wear any place that you would wear high heels. So that starts to eliminate some things, because I know that if you can wear high heels to bed, then I know that you're going to be careful enough that you're not going to wear prongs off or snag a prong on a sheet or material or something like that and lose it in the bed. I don't know how many.
Now, okay, but there's a little hang up here, because really probably the person you should be talking to is who's in bed with them while they got those high heels on, whether they should be wearing them to bed or not.
Well, it's just an example. Jeez. But anyways, like the other thing that's problems is the gold alloys have problems with chlorine and iodine.
And bleach.
Well, that's basically chlorine.
I know, but
Oh, people don't associate it with that.
right.
Okay, so and you don't have to get the liquid on the metal. Basically, just chlorine vapor it won't work quite as fast, I guess, but will work. The other thing is, the warmer that solution is, the more active it is.
Yep.
And it's not that it dissolves the gold. What it does is, let's say, 14 karat gold is 58% gold and 42% other metals. Well, chlorine doesn't bother the gold, but it bothers the other 42% of the metals in there. So it's almost like what it does is it bleaches those other alloys out, so it almost makes that piece like Swiss cheese.
Yeah. And in the process, it makes it really brittle, and you can't polish it.
Right.
And pretty much once it starts, you can't stop it.
Yeah.
Because once it kind of penetrates the metal to the point that you're noticing that it's got a problem, it's already too late.
Yeah.
Especially if you're wearing gold jewelry in a hot tub.
Yeah.
I mean that's a big no-no. Now if it happens once, it's not going to be a big deal. But if you're doing it where it's
on a regular basis,
on a regular basis, or you're swimming in your jewelry, stuff like that, that's when you're going to start having issues. And once it gets to that point where it's noticed, it's pretty much irreparable.
Even swimming in the bay or in the Gulf or whatever, salt water, there's actually chemicals in that water that's going to cause problems. So,
not like it would a pool or a hot tub.
Yeah, though. Because they're going to use a higher concentration of chlorine or possibly iodine. I mean, one of the worst cases I saw was a hot tub that they were using iodine to disinfect with, or whatever you call that, I guess.
Yeah.
And I was just amazed at how bad that ring was in so little a time. And I think you had a similar one. That heat just...
The heat really kills it, because we actually, at the store in Kansas, we'd had a customer years back that basically had gotten a wedding set and a hot tub
at the same time. Was it a wedding gift or something?
It was an anniversary.
Oh, anniversary
gift. And that was in February or March or something like that. It was about this time of the year. And she wore jewelry in the hot tub every night for 1 to 2 hours a night. By August or September of that year, something like that, that wedding set had to be replaced because the chlorine had eaten away all of the alloy, and it was a white gold set. And so the reason that she came in was because it was starting to turn kind of this yellow color. Well, gold's natural color is yellow, so the only way to turn it white for white gold is you got to alloy it with other white metals.
Yeah.
And it had actually eaten away all those other metals and left behind the gold. And so, it had gotten so bad that I was actually able to not only bend the ring just holding it in my fingers, but I could actually break the ring. It was in such bad shape. And that was just, I hadn't done anything else but that. But that's why we kind of warn people ahead of time, watch where you're wearing it and make sure that it gets checked and cleaned. The biggest thing we see when checking and cleaning is prong wear.
Right.
And that also comes back to where are you wearing it? Because believe it or not, you're going to get a lot of wear just in your sleep. That always shocks people when we tell them that, but it shocks us how many people wear their jewelry to bed.
Yeah.
It's like, who's going to see it?
Yeah.
What's the point in wearing that? To me, that I would think that would be pretty uncomfortable.
But I think, people get used to it. And if it's not on,
it feels weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, when you lose that major stone out of there, it's going to feel even weirder. So
Yeah.
Anyways, you can wear that to bed, like Colton's saying. We'll just see you more often because somewhere along the line we're going to have to do some repair to those prongs.
Yeah.
To give you an idea why that happens is everything that we manufacture or have is pretty much made out of a soft metal. It's either going to be, for the most part, gold or platinum.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happens is, say you bring your ring in and we clean and check your ring. One of the last things we do is we actually would polish that ring.
Yeah.
And what we use is basically a muslin buff. And believe it or not, a lot of sheets are made out of what's basically muslin.
Cotton.
And so it's kind of the same thing. Granted, we're probably,
we're doing it at a high rate of speed, but we're also doing it for only a few seconds.
Yeah.
You're wearing this to bed every night. It may be slower speed, but you're also doing this 6 to 8 hours a night, 365 nights a year. That ends up being a lot of wear. And when you have smaller points of contact like prongs, they tend to wear quicker than broader surfaces of metal.
Mm-hmm.
And so prongs wear down quicker. And then the other thing is gold has metal memory in it. So those prongs are originally kind of standing upright.
Right.
And when we go to set the stone, we actually have to bend those in just a little bit. And so once they get to a thinner point, that metal memory kind of takes over and it starts to pull them up a little bit. So now you have sharp edges because it's worn flat.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of worn to a point. And now they're starting to curl up. So now they're snagging on things and they're thin. So the next thing that happens is you break the prong off. And then once you have so many of those gone, well, then you start losing stones.
Right.
And that's where that wear comes in.
For the most part, it takes some time,
Mm-hmm.
but it's one of those things where you just don't notice it. I mean, it's kind of a gradual thing, so you get used to looking at it the way it is, which it wasn't that way to begin with, but it gets to a point, just like Colton said, where those prongs pull up.
Yeah.
And it's just weird that, it has to get to a certain point to kind of overtake that memory or undertake that memory.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the prong pulls up and then you snag it on something and basically pull it off.
Yeah. And then we're replacing stones.
Yeah. So we don't want you to get to that part.
No.
Point.
No. The other thing is with wedding sets, the importance of getting them welded together. A lot of people will wear their wedding bands and their engagement rings separate for years until they notice that, hey, my major's gone and can't figure out why. The prongs look good to begin with, and then we look and see that the wedding band is actually cut into the side of the engagement ring, and it essentially undercut the prongs to where they broke off. And so that's something that we look for too whenever things are brought in to be checked and cleaned, if wedding sets are being worn separate. Basically,
and in some cases, they may not wear the engagement ring, just the wedding band.
Mm-hmm.
So, we understand that. But if you're wearing them basically both all the time, you'll extend the wear of both rings a lot by having them welded together.
Yeah, because you'll not only reduce the amount of wear because it's metal on metal, but you're also, by welding them together, you're strengthening both rings.
Right.
Because you're actually creating a bigger piece by doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And so the strength and durability of the rings is actually increased, whereas leaving them apart is actually decreasing their strength and their wearability. So there's a lot of things that go into it. There's a lot of things we check whenever it's brought in to be cleaned. It's something that here at Susann's we actually offer as a free service, so you can come in anytime and have your rings or any of your jewelry checked and cleaned. It doesn't even have to be purchased here. That can be done as often as you'd like, but we would like you to do it at least every 6 months. Otherwise, there's a good chance we may be doing some more repair than you would like to get your stuff back into good shape. But the other thing is we want to make sure that your jewelry's fitting properly. Most people are wearing their rings way too loose, and though we understand there's some comfort level there, at the same time, we don't want you losing the rings that you're wearing and stuff
Or
like that.
the other thing is you've got a chance of, what would you say, changing the shape of that shank.
Yeah.
People that wear the rings too big, I know it sounds weird, but what it ends up happening is you end up ovaling or flattening the bottom of that shank. And actually then you're starting to cause a little metal fatigue.
Yeah.
But, it's just, one of those things where we may consult you a little and whatever, but yeah, there's a lot of times that rings are being worn too loose.
Yeah.
It's probably a bigger problem with ladies than it is guys, but and we understand that, but at times I've seen them where it's over a size too big, and 3/4 of a size too big, you got a really good chance of losing that ring.
Yeah. So we definitely want to check a lot of things whenever you bring those in. It only takes a few minutes to do, and we can get them cleaned up and polished for you as well, and catch any problems before they become major issues. And then we have a lot of people ask, well, what can I do at home to keep my stuff clean? And actually the best solution to that is just some warm water, some mild dish soap, no abrasives in it, and a soft toothbrush. Just set the pieces in there for a few minutes and then brush them really good with the toothbrush and rinse them really well under clean water and dry them off, put them back on.
Yeah.
That's the best way to do it. Avoid toothpaste. We know that that's a big wives' tale out there of using toothpaste to clean up and polish your jewelry, but essentially you're scratching your jewelry, and if you don't get all the toothpaste out, then it's pretty much like concrete trying to get it out. So please don't use toothpaste to clean your jewelry. Just some dish soap, warm water, and a toothbrush is a great way to do it at home.
And something else, since you brought that up, is, ladies use hand lotion a lot. And I'll just tell you that diamonds basically hate water. I mean, water will beat up on diamond better than it does on an apple. But they love grease, and amazingly enough, hand lotion has oil or grease in it. And so that diamond's like a magnet for that. So once that dries on there,
it's pretty much glue.
Yeah, it's worse than, almost as bad or worse than paint.
Yeah.
So, even if you are cleaning at home or whatever, somewhere along the line, even, if you say put the hand lotion on and you got the jewelry on, there's a really good chance you're coating those stones.
And it'll be amazing how well your stones will look once they're actually clean again, because it's kind of another one of those things that's gradual, but you'll notice that, my diamond just doesn't shine the way that it did before. And it's like, because it's coated in grease, pretty much.
We've had people come in and say that they lost a diamond, and
actually it was just covered in
it was
stuff.
It was just coated. So
so anyway, if you guys have any other questions about care or maintenance of your jewelry, please feel free to give us a call, 361-991-7565, or stop by here at our store at 4226 South Alameda in the Town and Country Shopping Center, right here in Corpus Christi. You can also send us a message right here on Facebook, and we would be glad to answer those questions for you. Again, we want to see your jewelry at least every 6 months to get checked and cleaned, and it's always a free service here at Susann. So thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.